What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another after hours live stream. I know I had a 4 hour live stream. Shout out to everybody. They checked that out. Make sure you check that out. So it's a couple of things I want to make very clear here. Um, I was actually not going to respond to this, but you know what? I want to attack this real head on. So I got a pin in the comment section of one of my videos. I'm actually going to show it right now, of a comment by a Mr. Ryan Williams. And we're gonna go through this real quick because this dude decided to write a whole paragraph, and I've written paragraphs before, so that's not an issue in and of itself. But he decides he wants to tell me about myself. Apparently, he's very, very triggered, and he feels like I am leading people astray. So I want to go. I want to go with this head on because for some reason you have a lot of guys out here where they really think that it's their job on YouTube to tell it's their job on YouTube to try to tell people who to listen to, what to listen to. I mean, you got motherfuckers like when it comes to people coming in my face about Jessica X, which I don't understand why people come to other people and bitch about what audience members are doing. And they want to sit there and make that some kind of commentary on like the manosphere. I've never understood that. But folks can't help but be who they are. But this one's actually about me. See, I'm trying to pull it up right now. Why is it just not letting me pull it up? Give me 1 second. I know this is late, so some of y'all catch this in the morning. But the main reason I'm doing this is to let y'all know how much I don't give a fuck about me. First of all, another reason I decided to do this too is because this dude, obviously I cammed up, and this is one of the reasons why, I don't cam up for utilitarian reasons. Shit. Let me get rid of this shit because that's what the problem is. I got way too many things open. I don't cam up because I'm on my fucking phone half the time when I do this. I'm not always in front of my computer. Yeah. But anyway, I want to read this straight up. I haven't fully read this. I've skimmed it. But yeah. Okay. This is from The Long Con Is Not Gonna Work. So this is actually the video that I did, after I was on Melody's joint, and then I was getting annoyed by the shit. And by the way, shout out to all the new subscribers I got. Appreciate the lead attorney with that shout out. So because I'm pretty sure they came from him. Yeah. All right. And let me get rid of this background, and let's bring it all the way so y'all can see it. Anybody in the comments? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I chilled out. I'm up because I'm working on some stuff online. So I decided to pop this up and take a break. Yeah, that was a great video BGS did. It was. Yeah, it was. BGS is doing that interracial investigation, man, straight up. So, and I'm interested if BGS is on here. So here's from Ryan Williams. Now keep in mind, this guy wants to talk about somebody camming up, but he doesn't have an avatar. Just keep that in mind. This man, Edward Anderson, is not the type of individual who any black man should be listening to. Oh shit. He does very little to dispute the common criticism of the black manosphere that is just a bunch of rejects, lames, socially awkward nerds who have found a space to vent their frustration. I'm going to go through all of it, and then I'll go back through it. Let's be clear. Let's clear the air here. Edward Anderson stands at 5'5", only because I've told you that, has several blemishes on his face, and is a tad bit overweight. He has a high-pitched voice that projects an aura of a little man complex. All of these things put together, and what you have is a non-select black man who has likely had very successful interactions with women. Or perhaps just non-select, period. For those of you who choose to follow the teachings of Mr. Anderson, ask yourself these questions. When is the last time Edward went out on a date? When is the last time Edward had a girlfriend? When is the last time Edward was just out and about and he had a woman actually looking his way? Fellas, get in the gym, get your money right, and the world will be your oyster. Period. Okay. So let's go through this. This man, Edward Anderson. So this clearly shows he's pretty much somebody that's engaged. He hasn't engaged with me a lot. Is not the type of individual who a black man should be listening to. So, question: why do you go? My channel is less than 5,000 subs. So my point is, my influence is not that vast. So it really says a lot that you would put this type of energy in creating a comment over somebody's channel that is 5,000 subs. But whatever. He does and here's the thing that people need to understand. Who the fuck do you, and see, I don't want to go through my analytics, but my analytics run, the age demographics of people that listen to me are between 25 and, it's the 25 and 34 and the 35 to like 45. So basically people my age that are either 10 years younger and 10 years older. And then I got some people that's in that like the 45 plus range too. But the majority of my audience is that. The majority of my audience is black men. And you got a little sprinkle of UK in there, sprinkle a couple of females in there. And this is somebody, by the way, I haven't seen in my chat either. So maybe he hasn't seen me a lot. Then he says he does very little to dispute the common criticisms of the black manosphere. A bunch of reject, socially awkward nerds who found a vent of frustration. Well, I mean, this is the and that's why I'm glad BGS is in here, because BGS knows what the audience consists of. You're starting to see that reflected in some of the newer, people coming on here, like Dennis Sperling, the lead attorney, and others. Shout out to Pablo, shout out to like the PhDs, but the reality is people are always going to default to this basic, and I'm just going to say it, these bitch made comments. They're always going to default to that. And I say they're bitch made not because I'm trying to, roast him. I'm saying bitch made because this is the shit the females say. This is the shit the females say. And this is a nameless, like, this, and this is a guy or whoever this is wants to comment on my facial blemishes that I'm overweight. Dude, I came up because I told you I didn't give a fuck. This is coming from somebody, you don't know what he looks like. You don't know what the fuck he's about. You got a lot. One of the things about being in the home business industry is you talk a lot about success. And one of the things that I want y'all to understand is there's a phrase called success porn. What is success porn? Success porn is when people basically absorb the quotes, the positive stuff, the books, if they read the videos, they listen to people that talk about doing all this shit and they don't do it. Now, this may be this person, this may not be this person. My point of bringing that up is you have a lot of people that they will talk about what somebody needs to do from a religion standpoint, basically the religion of self-improvement. They may do it or may not do it, but that's really all they're doing is talking about it. And so they'll go in here and then anybody, and so what happens when you're like a zealot of something? You make it your mission to try to go around and evangelize. But there's nothing wrong with talking about self-improvement, by the way, and promoting that. But you go around, it's not enough that you basically evangelize for the idea of self-improvement. You have to tear other people down. That's what you have to do. You have to say, don't listen to that guy. This is what you should do. But don't really explain shit. And you make all of these damn assumptions about shit and don't even know what the fuck or who the fuck you're talking to. I talk about, nobody really talks about quality of life in the black manosphere. Let's just keep that 100. I'm probably the only one that actually explained what quality of life is: health, money, time, freedom, relationships. So you actually have a general standard of what that is. That's number one. Number two, I have never spoken on against self-improvement. The only thing I have said in regarding the self-improvement is I have said, do not self-improve for a bitch. Do not. And the reason I say that is because if you self-improve for a female, then what's going to happen is, as soon as a female doesn't validate you, for example, since he wants to point out my height, which he only knows because I said it, by the way, which is something you can't improve. That's the funny thing. You want to preach self-improvement, but you put on here that somebody can't change. And then you want to base being non-select on that. And I know that's what you're harping on, because you didn't focus on the quote unquote overweightness I have. You didn't talk really about money. You decided to say, I'm short, I have a little man complex, I have a high-pitched voice. I have a high-pitched, first of all, I don't really have a high-pitched voice. I don't. I know some people, y'all may disagree with that. Even BGS will be like, I don't know. The reason my voice is higher in tone like that is because I took customer service and outbound sales calls. I've taken over 50,000 outbound sales calls. And I can tell you, you make more fucking money from these white folks when you have a less intimidating voice. So for that reason, my voice has kind of developed kind of a muscle memory of automatically going to that. And quite frankly, I'm not talking to you all to have sex with you. I can lower my voice. When I'm talking to a female, I can lower my voice to like where it needs to be and keep and maintain that at will. The problem is I've done it for so long that pretty much my mind automatically goes to that kind of white person voice. What's that movie with the dude from Get Out? Thank you. Call Me Later. So I've made a lot of money with this fucking high pitched voice, because I can tell you, white women like the high pitched voice. It's less intimidating and it gets me more money. That's why I have the voice. And as you know, I do this channel in a very, very freestyle mode. And so because I'm doing it in a freestyle mode, because this is not scripted, because this is off the cuff, off the top, I tend to go to what my defaults are. BGS will tell you as a coach, when you default to what your training is, and what's worked for you, and that's what worked for me. Because quite frankly, if you niggas give so much a fuck about my voice, then quite frankly, y'all are not really here for the information. So that's why, that is what that is. I've explained that before, but see, niggas can't understand that because niggas don't really know shit. I'm not saying you got to have this voice to be in sales, but I'm just saying a lot of these niggas, they don't engage in that, so they don't understand that. Then he wants to talk about my several blemishes. You know what's ironic? What's ironic is I've actually gotten positive comments from women about those blemishes. And when he says blemishes, he's talking about like the moles and shit. He wants to say I'm overweight. That's his opinion. I'm not gonna act like I can't stand to lose weight. But shit, if you got game, that shit doesn't matter, right? All these things, another reason I wanted to do a video on this, because if you look at like what he described in the context of talking about a gynocracy, these things are the typical things that black men pay attention to. Are you, as Grinch would say, are you bitch broke? How tall are you? This is how black men size black men up. I know dudes that weigh over 250 pounds that make a lot of money. I know dudes that are short that make a lot of money. I know dudes that got out of jail to make a lot of money. None of that shit matters. This dude will come over here and talk about self-improvement, and then he talks about the world is your oyster, but he doesn't really define that. And obviously this is one comment, but I promise you, if I get this nigga verbally, what this nigga will do is very quickly start trying to go into sign language like a bitch would. Because at the end of the day, this is what these dudes value. He put this, 9 hours ago? So it's 5 o'clock. That means it would have been 8 o'clock when he made this comment. This is probably when, so he made this comment, why he made this comment while I was actually live. So if he wanted to, he could have brought his ass on the panel and have a conversation. But he chose to leave a comment like a little bitch. So if you want to bring your ass on here, just let me know and we can have a conversation about all these little, you trying to size me up like a fucking bitch. Like straight up. And we could also have a conversation about self-improvement, because I really get fucking tired of a lot of these dudes, because I had to deal with this with Rami on Mr. Palmer's channel, where these niggas have this they have periods about the manosphere, over the manosphere, and then they say, well, you niggas are a bunch of this, a bunch of that, a bunch of this. I'm like, nigga, who the fuck are you listening? And nobody never describes channels. They he wants to say my channel, but my channel does talk about self-improvement. I don't know what the fuck these niggas are talking about. They'll say self-improvement as if that shit. You cannot let me give you a perfect example. Mike Rashid, physical fitness, got money. That nigga was in the fucking bathroom when a bitch was wilding out. So you tell me what about self-improvement would solve that fucking problem? At the end of the day, you are a black man in the United States of America. What was that doctor, the professor that was in Harvard, that he was outside of his house and then a cop stopped him? This is not about, folks make these false equivalencies. But anyway, let's continue, and then I'll get y'all comments. And then he wants to say I'm a non-select man. Oh, you're a non-select man. So I got a question. So is 1 + 1 not 2? It's only 2 if you're select? Is that what that is? These niggas, and then he's using Ron Will's language about select and non-select. Nigga, let's say I am non-select. Let's say I am non-select. And let's be clear here. Some of the dudes have seen some of the females I've dealt with in the Telegram. Let me tell you, and I'm going to say this straight up. The females that I have dealt with in the Telegram would make some of you niggas lose the ability to speak. Straight up. And I know that sounds like, wow, that's a bold claim. That's a bold claim. And why would I use those choice of words? Because that's actually the response I've actually gotten, not only from dudes, but I've gotten that in real life. I've actually, seriously, and I know that's a bold ass claim, but straight up. And that's with me being 5'5". And to be fair, I've seen enough of what certain content creators have presented as their girl. I'm not even going to go any further than that. But anyway, straight up. Nigga, the type of females I've dealt with, niggas actually have a fucking visceral reaction to me, and they actually get mad. I've seen that. And I'm just not trying to deal with that type of bullshit. Niggas will be pulling that, well, it's got to be because he's light-skinned. That's the only reason that can happen. And then niggas get in their feelings, and then they want to sit there and do something for some reason. But whatever, that's here, neither here nor there. I have nothing to prove. Like I've already said, motherfuckers don't want to listen to me, don't listen to me. I'm not here to prove to somebody who the fuck I am and what the fuck I can do. And see, this is what's crazy. What's crazy about shit like this is you got niggas out here selling $1,000 courses, which is perfectly fine. But selling $1,000 courses, but you sit there want to go to some random fucking YouTube channel because you don't like what I gotta say. As if these motherfuckers are not hearing the same. Who the fuck do you think listens to me? You think are people my age and older? Who do you think listens to me? So anyway, the last part about it is for those of you who choose to follow the teachings. What are you talking about? The teachings. The fucking teachings. I'm just a nigga talking shit on YouTube. No fucking teachings. What are you talking about? Ask yourself this question. When is the last time Edward went out on a date? Yeah, because every nigga, because in order for shit to make sense, you got a nigga, first of all, it's COVID. Second of all, who's going out on dates? If you really got game, you don't need to go out on dates. You just go straight for what the fuck you want. So that tells you a lot about who the fuck he is. So I'm about to go on dates, spend money on a bitch that I can fuck without doing that? Why? When is the last time? And he's talking about the world is your oyster, but he's talking about going on dates. Nigga, if you're a self-improved man like that, you don't need to go out on dates. Going out on dates is what actually non-select niggas do. Select niggas don't need to go out on, select niggas don't go out on dates. Maybe that's one of my teachings. When is the last time Edward had a girlfriend? Yeah, because everybody in this space has shown their girlfriend. When is this sounds like a nigga that don't like somebody that just created an account. When is the last time Edward was just out and about and he had a woman actually look his way? Well, people see me out and about. I've done videos with me being out and about. But apparently because I haven't shown a bitch, you know, these niggas like whatever. Fellas, get in the gym. Get your money right. And the world is your oyster. And this doesn't sound like somebody actually can speak from experience when it comes to those things. Because like I said, he's talking about being on a date. Anyway, so there's that. And yes, Black Mind, you can use that nigga starter kit. Absolutely. In fact, I'm not gonna be on here long at all. But if somebody wants to leave, they definitely welcome to pop up. I know I'm kind of interrupting Charles's hours. Oh, he's here. Yeah, so you want to bring your ass up? Bring your ass up. And how about your black ass cam up? Because I don't know, you could be a bitch, black female for all I know. But yeah, but as far as my voice, that's why my voice is that way. And I've said that before. But see, niggas can't get over that. And you know one thing I'm going to say, and this is going to be fucked up, but I'm going to say it. You know why, you know a big reason why black men comment on my voice so much is because a lot of black men, they're so used to dealing with deep voiced black females because black females typically have a deeper voice than most other women. They have a deeper voice than most other women. This they'll sit there and say, nigga, your voice sound like a woman because you're used to dealing with deep voiced black females. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. My voice is no more deeper, like my voice is deeper than a white dude's. Yeah, what's up, Black Mind?
What's going on, Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, man, you out there in the Middle East, man. I forgot what time it was in your area.
Yeah, I am, but it's daytime here. It's the middle of the day here. You are, let's see, it's early morning where you are, huh?
Yeah, I don't know where Middle East time zone. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna front. I don't know nothing about no Middle East time zone, but shout out to Time Zone Gang, man. Time Zone Gang.
And the Passport Gang. So yeah, I came on because I could also address these points without hatred for Mr. Williams. I can still address the points, and that is this.
You mind if I bring? Because you've been somebody that's listened to me for a while, and
Yep.
you're a well-traveled dude. So rather than me, you mind if I bring him up?
No, I don't mind. I expected it.
Okay, so let's go. All right, so go ahead, Black Mind.
Okay, so first thing is that in order to mention one's success or lack of success, the thing is this is a very uniquely Western trait, and in all honesty, it's not really valid in most parts of the world. To make matters worse, you're judging somebody by their success with the second worst woman in the world, arguably. Some people even say the worst. I mean, the other black men that say that the Western black woman's the worst in the world, they even say she's worse than Karen and Becky. I hold that she's the second worst because she got it from Karen and Becky and just, she went overboard because she was sincere with it. But that right there, right off the bat, that right there, it doesn't matter if you're 4'11". If women are actually getting with women in a particular environment, you can't really sit up and judge a man's failure with them as some measure of his manhood. Now, if most of the women were straight and there was not some acceptance of women on women, I'd probably say something different. But I mean, we're dealing with the West. We're dealing with a country in which women routinely decide they want to try other women and go in and out of that particular orientation like a revolving door. And then when they do that, we've already seen sisters will turn butch, turn stud, and it's always they become a hood dude. They never turn stud and decide to become a non-idness man, at least cosmetically. So because of that, we can't really sit up here and say, well, when was the last time you actually went out on a date?
Well, Black Mind, to be fair, we don't know if he was talking about black women. So this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do is, rather than me do the back and forth, you're in my Telegram. So you know what I say behind the scenes. Being in my Telegram, I won't say I hold a lot back, but I hold a little bit back from what I say open. So it's only 20 people on my Telegram, and I rarely let new people in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let Ryan have his opinions that he's gonna have, as long as he don't go too off the rails with it. And then I want you to respond to it as somebody that's listening to me, not only in the front part, but also behind the scenes.
Yes, I'll let him. I'll shut up while he goes.
So that being said, what do you got to say, Ryan?
Okay. Well, first things first. When you first came on,
time out. Why do you sound like that nigga that's always trolling me?
What you talking about, man?
Why do you sound like that nigga that's always saying "fuck you, Edward, you a bitch, you a hoe"? You think I wouldn't recognize your voice?
No, that ain't me, man.
That ain't you. That really ain't you, because I can detect that fucking seriously. I know voices. You sure that ain't you?
Hey man, I addressed you in the comment section. I don't know what you talking about, so if you ain't trying to hear what I got,
you really gonna act like you don't know what I'm talking about, dude. You done called me a bitch and a hoe a lot. You think that shit.
I addressed you in the comment section. I addressed the issue that I had with your program.
You ain't never called me a bitch and a hoe. You ain't never trolled. You ain't never created BGS and shit. You ain't never done that.
No, I ain't never done that.
You ain't never done that at all.
So if you ain't trying to hear my piece, what I got to say about your platform, then that's cool.
Say fuck you, Edward. You a bitch or a hoe?
No, I addressed you in the comment section. Why
are you so focused on the comment section? It's like you got to keep a linear thought, and you can't that's a tell that you're lying. Right? You try to stay on script, because if I get you off the script, I didn't even know that until I heard your voice, dude. I know that's you. But go ahead, since you're not wilding out, we'll hear you out.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this: to address what I said as far as you being a non-select male. Why do you not believe that the black man needs to position himself as a leader in his own community before he addresses the dysfunction of the black woman?
I didn't say he did. I didn't say he didn't need to. But my question to you is, how would a black man do that outside of self-improvement? Because I can show you plenty of self-improved black men that can't control. Just because you can get sex out of a black woman don't mean you can control her. Because niggas that are fucking black women are not controlling black women. But so my question is, outside of self-improvement, how would black men do that?
Well, I don't know how black women do that, but we have to do that. We have to do that first before we make video after video after video talking about black women and this or white women or whatever type of woman. It really doesn't matter.
I don't talk about black women. I talk about the gynocracy. There's a difference. That's like saying I don't talk about white people. I talk about the system of white supremacy. Now, their place and the reason why that's different is I talk about black men's role in the gynocracy as well as how black men actively contribute to the gynocracy. Also, I know what I said, Black Mind, but since this is the line of question he wants to do. Also, let's say black men do magically self-improve. If black men are not willing to exercise their power, which they've demonstrated they are not, that doesn't mean anything. So you make it sound like if black men are these masters of the universe, which by the way, other races of men don't have to feel that cross that Rubicon, then what are black women going to do? What are you saying black women are going to do?
No, I didn't say that they're going to do anything, but what I'm saying is every single video that you make has something to do with a woman. But see, the thing is, as black men, it is our job to correct their dysfunction, but we cannot correct their dysfunction or even address it properly before we correct ourselves.
Okay, so give me an example of a black man that black women listen to. Anybody.
Well, some of them listen to preachers.
You would consider preachers the apex of what black men should be. You would consider them self-improved guys.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, then.
And I didn't say that they will listen. I never said they will listen. If we did become leaders, I never said that.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is this. Okay, so let me put it to you like this. If you got listeners who are younger than you, do you really feel that yourself?
First of all, I can show you my stuff. My listeners at lowest are like 10 years younger than me, but usually they're my same age or older. I can actually show you the analytics and pull them up on the screen. I don't have like a lot of teenagers listening to me or a lot of 20, 21, 22-year-olds listening to me like that. So my question is, why is it my channel is not the biggest channel in this space? It's not the most influential. Why my channel?
Okay, the point that I was trying to make is most of the guys who listen to the Black Manosphere, who listen to these channels, they have some sort of issue with women. And you can hear it in their cadence. You can hear it in their voice. You can hear it in their tone.
Dude, we have dudes that are married in this space. Mr. Palmer is married. Jap is way worse than me, and Jap shows this is generally how I default on stuff like this. Jap talks more shit about black women than anybody in the general manosphere, yet Jap shows the bitches he's dealing with as well as Jap in the clubs he goes to. So as far as I'm concerned, if we're gonna say, oh well, all somebody does is talk about women, well, that's literally what Minister Jab does. He has far more influence than I do. He says shit that I don't even say. I don't even say, and he shows all the social cues that you're mentioning with me. So why aren't you over? I'm just asking. Like, if that's
okay, well, it is extremely difficult to get a call in on his show. I've been over there. I've tried to call in. I haven't gotten through, but I've been over there before.
Okay, so what are you doing? Just going? What is your intention? Would you think you're going to change what we do or change people's opinion on us? Because people are just like how the niggas were getting mad at me for motherfuckers donating to Jessica X, and I said I can't control who they donate to. It's the same thing with people listening to me or not listening to me. They choose to do it. I mean, I got 75 people at fucking 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. What? Okay. Well, they're clearly getting something out of it.
What they need to ask them. Okay, hold on. No, I want you to go.
Go ahead, Black Mind.
Okay. Edward has often said that if sisters have a problem with listening to us under the same conditions in which most other women do listen to their men, that they should feel free to go ahead, pick another store, i.e. some other men. I just got through listening to BGS cover the results of when Black women try to do this with other men. And I just, I recorded and I was about to upload it when I saw that Edward was going live. To be honest with you, this is what Edward says. And he's actually saying, okay, sisters, they got choices, they can make them, they can't escape the consequences, but we respect their choices. He's simply saying we should respect their choices. They should deal with the consequences of what they choose. I'm actually the one that says, no, F all that respect stuff. They're wrong. They're choosing wrong. And it's not just because they're not choosing me per se, but it is about the men that they're not choosing. And it is about the shallowness of how they make these choices. It's not about, I'm the one that says they will make the choice, but we don't have to respect it. And they still got to deal with the consequence of it. That's something I say. He says, okay, if they can get a Wyatt man, let them go and do it. I'm the one that says they got no business going for those kinds of men, not because of genetic inferiority or superiority, but I'm saying they got no business going for them because they've been sitting up here telling us that, one, they don't want non-Black men, two, the Black men they've been going for fit a particular stereotype. So how dare they turn around and go after the exact same opposite, the exact opposite of what they've been saying, as long as he's not one of us. I'm actually the one that's much worse when it comes to dealing with the Western Black woman. I'm the one that called them wicked witches. Well, Western women in general, I call them wicked witches of the West. I'm the one that calls them Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire. That's not something Edward's doing. Edward's actually very mild compared to me. If there's a real man if there's a man that's really a problem for Black women, it's going to be me. I'm the one that started hashtag Don't Approach Her a few days ago. Edward's actually kind of mild. I'm the one that set up and said, okay, they've admitted that they're at war with us. Now, I have a reason for saying it. I can tell you that C Boogie actually is the one that explained how they're at war without saying that they're at war. But I'm the one that said, hold up, he's a veteran of war. He knows about war. So he knows that what they're doing actually fits all the elements of a war. It's deception in order to try to trick people out of their resources against their own interests. That's the type of war. So
and I'm not gonna, and I walked away from this. I don't know if C Boogie was mentioned, but here's the problem. C Boogie, the difference between me and C Boogie is C Boogie talks about women validating you. He has no C Boogie really, if you want to learn how to try to be a narcissist, that's what C Boogie's channel is. It's for validation. It's a lot like that how Fresh and Fit is. A lot of like bullshit. I'm gonna just say it straight up. And so when people talk about this self-improvement, a lot of people lie about it. They kind of, self-improvement to get this female on it. Your greatest power is your power of choice. Your only purpose in self-improving, other than to increase your quality of life, is to be able to better exercise your power of choice. If you're not willing to exercise, and when I say choice, I don't necessarily mean date out. We could talk about dating intercultural. We could talk about going to another region or another city or whatever. But you got dudes that they will self-improve only to fuck the same dusty ass busted bitches that they that they couldn't get when they were whatever. Why? They're not looking at those women from a greater, a better set of eyes at this point as to, does this woman, I don't give a fuck about the wife shit. Does this woman fit their program? They're not looking at it like that. They're looking at it from this ego shit. And this is why I decided to read your comment, because this is how your comment comes off. Your side, this is why a lot of dudes in the chat was saying, you're trying to size me up like a fucking black bitch would. Like, and I'm not even saying bitch in the, you're a female. I'm saying bitch in how these women that actually choose. Keep in mind, if we're talking about this self-improved man, these women, and here, fuck the hood rats. Let's just talk about the chicks that are 92 climbers, that they are from the hood, but they actually get some education. What do? They don't get the self-improved man. They don't compete for him. What they do is they go back and get the same dusty ass niggas from which they came from. So it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with culture. So yes, dudes should self-improve. But this idea that if all these niggas just become select niggas, because select has nothing to do with you being a better. Do you realize, dude, that in certain places, in a lot of places, and Black Mind can attest to this too, I would be select. All the shit you said, 5'5", overweight, moles on my face, or blemishes. I would beat out dark-skinned dudes just because I'm light-skinned. Do you realize that? That's what select means. Select is the criteria in which that group, a woman or a group of women, have designated or select traits. Black men, most black men would say they pound for pound, we're probably more sexually attractive than white men. It's just white men have white supremacy and this image. And that is what select is. It's the women choosing for whatever criteria. It's not about what you say select is. Select could be whatever the fuck they want it to be. And that shit changes. So you're not accurate even the way you address that shit.
Okay, Edward. So you're going to tell me that if you have guys who are, let's say, undesirable in terms of when they go out and try to date, if women consider them to
undesirable according to who? Because being undesirable with a black woman doesn't mean you're undesirable to all women.
Okay, sir, my wife is white, so I can attest to that. But can you please let me finish my sentence? Okay, if you have a bunch of guys in the black manosphere who are considered to be undesirable, not just with black women, but with women, period. If those guys are considered to be undesirable, are you going to tell me that that lack of desirability has nothing to do with this, this red pill rage?
Well, you make the assumption, first of all, and see, this is the funny thing. Red pill rage. See, y'all have this thing where y'all keep trying to say red pill rage is the inability to get a bitch. Most dudes go through red pill rage not because they can't get a bitch, was because they were fucking emotionally harmed by a bitch, which means you have to have gotten a bitch in the first place. You got niggas that go through red pill rage because of child support. You got niggas that go through red pill rage. Like, here's the thing: if I would have Thanos snapped all the niggas that just didn't get pussy, fuck that. If I would have Thanos snapped all the niggas that didn't have kids, and if we just focus on the niggas that have kids, meaning we can show, okay, these dudes got a bitch to not only fuck but nut in and have their kid. What would the black community look like? The black community will look the same. Actually, the black community will look worse. So this idea of, well, you have these quote unquote undesirables, and undesirables according to who? Who is the criteria that you're saying? Are you saying undesirable to black women, or are you saying undesirable to women in general?
I'm talking about undesirable to women in general.
Okay, like, you make a lot of assumptions about who's listening in this space. Like, who do you listen to other than me? Give me like 3 content creators.
Okay, I'll listen to the whole Black Manosphere.
No, 3 main content. Everybody doesn't listen to the whole. I don't listen to the whole Black Manosphere. Give me 3 people you dedicate the most time to, generally. Whether you like them, don't like them, because that gives me an idea of who you're actually listening to. Because the Black Manosphere, depending on who you listening to, you can get, because he say he ain't. The Black Manosphere is very vast. So people try to say, yeah, like
BGS, Itmore, O'Shea, Duke, Jackson, Mr. Fantastic. I mean,
okay. So O'Shea, so BGS has a very strong audience. It's not a whole bunch of incels listening to BGS. Mr. Fantastic shows his face, and he's definitely a lot of incels ain't really listening to him. And then as far as O'Shea, I would say the same thing about O'Shea. So the people that, like, you would think the people you talking about is like Kid Organic or Darius MGTOW. None of those audiences are reflective of a whole bunch of niggas, because O'Shea don't even really jump on black women like that. Nor really does BGS, to be honest, or Fantastic. None of them do that. Not really. I'm probably worse than all 3 of them.
Okay, I think you're kind of missing my overall main point here, Edward. What I'm saying, the question that I'm asking you is, you're going to say that a lack of desirability has nothing to do with any of these talking points from the manosphere? You really believe that?
Dude, you keep on coming back to the answer is everything that I say if you are fucking a woman could still stand to be true. You make it sound like your ability, because if you can have sex with a woman, the desirability bullshit is off the table. You really make it sound like black men that are fucking black women are not having these problems. I got a question, and I'm going to answer it that way. Name me one problem that I have mentioned that black men don't have if they can verify with you that they're having sex with a black female. Name me one problem that no longer applies at that point.
Okay. I never said that the problems that you address.
I'm asking you. You said none of it has to do with lack of desirability. So if that's true, that this lack of desirability is what is the catalyst for any of my talking points, then you should clearly be able to indicate which talking points no longer apply once I can demonstrate to you desirability.
No, I actually don't need to do that because I'm talking about your overall show and your overall.
No,
scene.
damn that. So there's because my overall show is points. You said teachings. So if there's teachings, you didn't say rhetoric. You said teaching. So if there's teachings, then there should be one or two things you can bring up that no longer applies. That magically disappears once you put a dick in a bitch.
No, you lose, Edward. Because let me explain this to you.
I lose, but you get. It's a fair question. It's not a gotcha question. I'm asking you to name one thing, not a whole list. One thing that if I put a dick in a bitch, all of a sudden my shit doesn't make sense anymore. Because that is what you would have to do to then prove that lack of desirability is really why people even listen to my rhetoric.
No, not necessarily.
At 5 in the morning.
You wouldn't have to do that.
Does that Black Mind, you teach people, does that make sense what I just said, or is I'm just bullshitting?
I understood your question.
Yeah, I mean, because outside of that, all you're doing is just talking shit, and this is that subjective, and you're living in the subjective world. You're not living in the objective world. In the objective world, you have to actually disprove something. And I'm not creating this bar that can't be reached. I'm telling you, there's nothing that I say, there's nothing that comes out of my mouth that matters. I don't talk about undesirability, because where I default to an undesirability is a black female or any woman doesn't have to choose you for whatever reason. Like, let's take me. I'm 5'5". What dudes have to do is you're going to have to start to sift and sort, learn what your niches are, and sift and sort through women until you get to the women that height isn't that big of a deal. And that includes black women, you know, just like how if you got women that don't like dark skinned dudes or like whatever thing you can't control. And then what you can control, you need to fix it. That's where I default to, which is why I don't talk about it. This is why I say the greatest power you have is the power of your choice. Meaning you want to only choose to deal with black women, then you need to do what the fuck they want you to do, which means get in the fucking gym, because that's what they demonstrate that they like. If you have a cultural issue with black women, then you either need to learn how to pretend to be what you are if you want sexual access, which I don't recommend people do, or you need to go ahead and deal with people that are more in line with your culture. Even if you want to keep it black, that's where intercultural comes in, which is something I introduce into this space. So again, I'm not here to tell women, I don't tell women to do shit when it comes to meeting a man at their level. I don't tell black women to date down at all. I am the nigga that tells black women if black men ain't shit, go date out. So there's nothing in my channel that speaks to undesirability. I say self-improve, get your shit together. A bitch doesn't owe you shit. That's what I say. So so you don't hear me talk about these women ain't choosing these dudes. What I talk about with the women is the women are bitching about the outcomes that they have based on their own choices. So if you choose, by the way, if you choose to be a 92 climber and you climb your ass out the hood, get educated, and you get a nigga from the hood, and I'm not even talking, look, all niggas from the hood are not bad, but you get a nigga that ain't productive, then don't get mad when you get non-productive shit. Don't sit there and then say it's all black men's fault. No, bitch. Your lack of vaginal VPS, vaginal positioning system, is what fucks you up. So that's what I talk about. I don't say, well, you need to choose these guys because blah, blah, blah. I also say, stop presenting guys with a baby. Because a lot of these women could probably come back into dealing with productive men, even if they had decent high body counts, if they didn't have a baby. That's all it is. I'm not telling women to choose shit. As far as I'm concerned, what they choose is what they choose. They have every right to do it. And they got to hold the consequences or the benefits of what they pick. That's it. That's all I talk about. You have never heard me tell black women that they need to pick a certain black man just because of their fucking feelings. Because that I am never given a fuck about. And when somebody brings up height, I tell dudes, you got to deal with it. I bring up height only to show that taller guys, that's a universal beauty marker, and we know women pick on that. So when women always talk about they pick on character and all this other bullshit, I know that's bullshit, and I show it. That's it. They can pick it, but the point is they try to act like they pick on character first and black men let them down. That's not true. They don't pick on those things, and they need to be honest that they don't pick on those things. Because they're lying, and then here's the thing. They're lying on us. I would not give no fucks about what they do if they didn't sit there and create this whole narrative that black men are harming them. That's where I come in. They're lying on us.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question, though, Edward. Okay, let me ask you a question.
You didn't answer my original question, but go ahead, because we're going to get back to that eventually. But what's the other question?
So if we're going to assume that the majority of your audience is indeed black males, your audience is majority black males, is that true?
Yes, it is true.
So if the majority of your audience is black males and you're speaking to black males, for example, I told you earlier that I'm involved in an interracial marriage. Now, I might have some cultural issues with black women or women that's from the hood, from our community or whatever, but he spoke about intercultural dating. If black men are going to date interculturally, or if black men are going to date interracially, like what I'm doing, how come pushing that message out isn't more important given your audience's majority black men? Why is that not more important than making video after video after video complaining about women?
First of all, let's be clear here. I don't complain about women. I complain about the gynocracy. I've already said that. And second of all, let's be clear here. If I bring up any black woman, everything you're saying is automatically mute once you say you've married out. Because truthfully, I still date black women. I still deal with those black women. So a black woman would rather see a black man. Let's be clear here. Black women would rather see a black man complain and still in the conversation than a black man that's married out. Because at the very least, they would perceive me to be all in. So they would actually side with me. Now, yeah, I say that dudes have a choice and they can choose what they choose. But you've already, as far as they're concerned, you already ran away. Nigga, all the shit that they say about me, they would actually apply to you because you've already demonstrated you can't deal with black women by definition of not only are you just fucking out, you actually married out. So they would ask, why the fuck would you even believe that you even have the authority to judge me on anything when you've already ran away from the community in their eyes? So you're sitting here worried about me complaining about black women that you didn't pick. You married out. You lose. You quit.
In their eyes. So we just established that your audience is black males.
Yes, hold on, black man. That's another thing too. Like that's in the eyes of even black men, that's considered you quitting. You sitting there once you marry white, you can no longer then say pull the manhood card. You can't pull that because you've already demonstrated you can't control this chick. So why the fuck do you give a fuck about me talking about women that you've already demonstrated you cannot control? Which is why you made a lifelong commitment with not only another group of women, but literally the group of women that even a lot of black men buy into the fact that only a weak ass nigga would pick.
Well, first of all, I never admitted that I can't control a black woman because I've actually never dated a black woman. So that's
hold on, time out. You said you never dated a black woman? I want to be clear. You said you have never dated. So why the fuck are you even why are you even in this space if you've never dated a black woman?
Well, this is just YouTube. I like listening to this content here.
Why do you like
But-
listening to the content if you think the shit we're saying is bullshit? So you
Okay.
like hearing niggas complain about black women?
What I'm saying is, I'm gonna go back to my original point. I'm
I'm
gonna go back to my original point, Edward. The black man must position himself as a leader first if he wants to address the moral recklessness and the dysfunction of the black women. That's first. What I'm saying is that should come first. I didn't say black women are great.
Or just do what you did, which is go get a white woman and quit.
That's better than sitting on YouTube complaining all day.
Well, okay. Frankly, as a man that did the intercultural thing, and this is before I knew about the space, the women can look at you and they can say,
hold on, black man. I'm gonna let you jump in. You keep saying a nigga complaining all day, but you listen to niggas that complain all day. Like I don't understand that shit. But you know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring a black man that's actually married to a black woman that actually assists me in this quote unquote complaining about what black women do. Shout out to Dardar with the $5 super chat. So why in absolute hell did you say it's our responsibility to fix black women? I don't know if I heard him say that, but obviously Dardar super chatted that he heard some shit. But anyway, go ahead, Black Mind. And what I have as well is my analytics. I've never shown this before, so the motherfuckers know I'm not bullshitting. Go ahead, Black Mind.
all right. The point that I can remember that I was going to make was that, frankly, when it comes down to the complaining online, I probably do that about as often. But I openly say that my goal is to get into the minds of young black men. Actually, they're young black boys at this age, and do exactly what their mothers do not approve of, to put into their heads that they don't have to deal with any of this mess. They don't even have to deal with one neck roll, one eye roll, one finger snap from the Western black woman if they're paying the cost to be the boss. They don't have to deal with any of this attitude. Now, I also promote intercultural marriage. I don't necessarily promote or demote interracial. I have a criteria for that. But that brings me to the next point. You're sitting up and getting on his case. You missed the bigger fish because I'm far worse. But then you're also saying you never admitted that you couldn't control a black woman, but you've never dated one. Now, if you never dated because you have religious injunctions against dating per se outside of marriage, I get it. But if you date, but you just never dated one of them, even black women could say, okay, hold up. If you ain't with a black woman, fine. Why specifically the mayonnaise mafiosa, as we might say, if we don't want to trigger certain YouTube algorithms? They can ask why specifically you got married to the complete opposite from whom the black woman has learned. Last thing I'm gonna say about is about your point, the original point that we have to position ourselves as leaders. I've been married to 3 black women. 2 of them were not American. Those were the happiest times of my life. And I'm currently very spoiled. But the time that I dated and then when I married American black women, I learned that you can never be boss enough. You cannot earn enough.
That nigga learned what hell was like then. Go ahead.
Yep, sure did. You can't earn. And I was one of the lucky ones because I didn't get one that was as bitter as many others have complained about getting. She's never tried to stop me from seeing my kids or anything. But what I did learn was that the one thing that even good black women struggle with in the United States and by extension the West is submitting. You cannot be boss enough. You cannot earn enough. You can't be tall enough. You cannot you can't have enough muscle. You cannot have enough ding-a-ling. You simply cannot, because they are trained that you, because you're black, can't be the boss. End of. There's nothing you could do about it. And we're now seeing that then it's not just sisters that are doing it. We're seeing that's Western women in general. You can look at Amal Clooney that married George Clooney, and she's complaining about him. Giselle Bundchen complained about, I forgot her husband's name. So in a nutshell, you're talking about in the West. So that you may actually have experienced this yourself, and we never know. You can never really be boss enough when dealing with them. And the truth be told, you would have a higher chance of seeing this from your current wife if you actually were from the same race, because they act this way. They act worse with their own than they do with us. In the beginning, in the beginning, but later on, it's something else. Oh, and by the way, statistically speaking, in order to marry one, if you are a black man, in order to marry a white woman, they generally require that you have 8 times the income that the same woman would require from a white man. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So I'm going to put the shuck up for now and let y'all continue. But thanks for
Yeah, because this won't be forever in the day. I'm glad she decided to come on. I just want to show my viewer age. 5%. We'll say 6%, 5.8%, 6% is 18 to 24. 37% is 25 to 34, which I'm 34, so that's mine. 38% is 35 to 44, which I will enter into in a couple of months, and then 14% is 45 to 54. So the funny thing is, I actually have more people. I have the biggest audience actually are 1 year older than me in 10 years versus the people that are 25 and 34. And I can tell you a lot of those are more in the 30 to 34 range of that. And then we got a couple of, 55 to 64. Those are the Black Gurus, the NYC Songbands, the BGSs of the world. So my stuff. So it's not like I'm sitting here. Even if people want to make the argument that I'm fucking up younger dudes, yeah, that's not going on. But also I'll add to is my channel is unique as I recommend more channels than a lot of other people do. So I share fantastic stuff all the time. Roger, well, even fantastic. I've shared Jason Black in the past. Roger, Glendon Cameron. Do people that show their face, that have showed Dennis, all these guys that show their face, they show they're married, they're getting bitches, whatever. I share them, and they say very similar things than what I say. So even if somebody were to have these quote unquote problems with me, I'm not going to argue that, because those are emotional problems. That's already taken care of by the fact that I can show that other people saying it, that actually fills all those cues of what I'm saying. Let me see. Where's the gender too? Gender, and this is this is lifetime numbers too. This is not just the last 30 days. My stuff age is 93% male. And ain't no white dudes listening to me like that. And then regionally, it's all the United States. And yeah, so there's that. But what's up, Sheet?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Absolutely. I don't know how much of this you've heard. Or...
Your voice is clear.
I heard pretty much when dudes started talking with you, so I caught in the last probably 10 minutes. For one, dude, if you ain't never dated a black woman, you ain't even experienced nothing. So how you coming on here talking about men or complaining about women, but you never even dated a black woman to even say, okay, I've been through that. I see why y'all talk about this. I see why y'all do this. You never dated a black woman. You chose off the rip to even not even associate yourself with a black woman.
That nigga came out the womb. That's why.
How do you even know the struggles? That's like a dude trying to for some simple as riding a bike. You never rode a bike, but you're gonna try to get at people for riding bikes. Well, he don't know how to do this and he don't know how to. You never rode a bike.
So that nigga like Kobe, he got drafted by the Hornets and said, "Nah, you trade me to the Lakers." Go ahead.
Yeah, but when it come down to it, I dated out, but my thing of it was, like I said, this whole SYSB thing, I never got at my wife because she was a Jamaican woman. I got at my wife because she was a nice woman. The whole, like I said, a lot of stuff the guys talk about in the manosphere, to a degree, I don't live it. I mean, I've already done stuff like far as pick my wife to a certain degree, SYSB, you can call it that, but I was looking for a good woman. If she was goddamn Afro-Latino or African, whatever. I just wanted a black woman to have kids with, and that was it. So when it came down to it, whatever black woman that was feasible, that's who I had kids with. When it come down to it, I mean, she had kids before I met her. So it wasn't the whole thing that, I'm gonna go look for all single women. I wanted a good woman, and she was just so happened to be a good woman. That's why I say I don't promote dating married women. I mean, not married, but I don't promote dating single moms.
I hope you don't promote dirty man.
No, I don't promote that shit because a lot of them hoes is trash. I dealt with hoes that had kids, and that's what made me stop fucking with them. My wife was the last one, and when I found out she had kids, I wasn't gonna fuck with her too long. And the only thing that really we started off just kicking it as friends, and the shit escalated because she was such a good person. There was a broad I fuck with. She was a big bitch, and you know the bitch was goddamn.
You
She
put
was
her on
nice.
a fucking timer, man. I'm sure you communicated that like from a vibe perspective. She said, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
Hey
like I
man.
mean, when it come down to it, a lot of like them hoes, I told them straight up. Any girl I fuck with, I told them straight up. I said, you got this and that wrong with you. If you can't change that shit, we can't be together. Most of them said, yeah, I do this, I do that. They never did it. My wife was the only one said I work on it, and she was the only one that was pushing towards working through us and shit. So, like, basically, that's somebody that's I can communicate with and understanding to the point where you call it submissive, but or whatever. But she came to a point where understanding if she wanted to be with me, she got to do certain things, you know. And for as far as you talking about the dudes complaining, you got to understand, dudes have been dealt a bad hand. Dudes get divorces. Dudes get their kids taken away from him. It's a guy on YouTube now. He has a channel. He had 3 kids. His wife divorced him, took his 3 kids. She stayed in Cali. She moved all the way to the A just to spite him. It wasn't because he was a bad man. It was because she wanted money and he wasn't giving her what she wanted, and she took the fuck off. That's what men go through. That's why we complain about that. You know, a lot of them, yeah, some of them come on here fucked up in their feelings and shit, but at the same time, dude, every time you turn around and get slapped around, that shit hurt. And the
Yeah, I
bad
mean,
part about it, the dudes are still getting up and still trying to function in relationships.
yeah,
That's
and
the
another
fucked up.
thing too is we're not complaining, we're explaining. And a big part of what we're doing, there's a purpose to what we do. A lot of guys, they may not come up and they may not talk, but they need to hear that this shit is out here and they're not the only ones. And so a lot of motherfuckers protect this space because they say will tell you it's very therapeutic for them to even hear the other dudes are going through it because it helps with them cope with it. I've gotten emails about that. So motherfuckers will be out here talking about, because let's be clear here, women bitching about black men is a fucking economy. That shit is an economy that spans a lot of multiple media outlet industries. In
And it's
fact, that stuff
exported.
goes into the black church too. Exactly. So this idea, so and you and men seem to not have no fucking problem with that shit. But for some reason, they have this thing about what we do over on in this little corner of YouTube to the point, well, Nick, as if we're the ones influencing the black community. This ain't the black church. So when people say like want to debate me, well, isn't this the right way to do some shit? Like, well, don't you gotta self improve in order to lead a woman? And it's like, nigga, I've dealt with these chicks, and so we're telling you from our experience. And the reality is, the reason why I talk about the guy, see, it's really dudes want to believe the world is a certain type of way, and then they have to put people in categories in order to justify the world as they see it. So if you see the community, they have to be like, well, the community is bad because you have all these bitch ass niggas. But the truth is, the shit really started to go downhill when women betrayed black men and starting in 1968. And those are completely different black men. Those are niggas that clearly didn't have sexual access problems. So this idea that, you know, it's just people are not taking the shit seriously. And like I said, my thing is, if my shit is driven by undesirability, then to show that, we have to show what I say no longer matters once
And
you demonstrate sexual access.
the,
That's
the,
what that's what you have to show. That's all, like, that's all you have to show. It's not hard if you want to make that point. But
and the,
whatever.
and the crazy part is, you want to keep it a buck. A lot of dudes ain't getting ass like that, like they be portraying on these sites. I mean, on YouTube in general. A lot of dudes, motherfucking, just they not fucking with females like that. The younger guys are not, because they know that these hoes are full of shit and they can see straight through them. If you try to holler at a girl, and my son went through the same shit, I'm talking about the same exact shit I went through, but different fucking item. I had a girl when I was goddamn graduated high school. This broad told me all her boyfriends bought her Jordans, and this motherfucker had like 6 pair of Jordans, and she was like, "Yeah, you like them?" I was like, yeah, they cool. She's like, all my boyfriends buy me Jordan. But basically, all way I can about her doing, I said, fuck that. Ain't no fucking son. My son was like, but the shit was worse for him because the hit girl that's fucking with her boyfriends bought her like culture product purses or whatever Louis some purses. So he been ran through. At least my hoe only had six pair of Jordans. His girl had 27. So that means a lot of dicks, a lot of motherfuckers just for the purses and shit. Like dudes, like you get raw deal every fucking time. This space cuts off a lot of that bullshit where you don't have to put up with it. You start noticing the signs from guys on the panels telling you shit, and you start saying, okay, well, this and that. Like a lot of guys don't know about shit tests. It was a guy I talked to in the back chat. This motherfucker, 33 years old, like literally shouted shit test the fuck out of him. She like, dude, like he told me that the broad fucking he ate the broad out for 5 months and never fucked her. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, man. Every time I tried to fuck, she'd be like, nah. She's like, oh, nah, it'll hurt me and all this. And so he was like, I didn't want to catch no case, so I fucking backed off of her. But at the same time, I told her, like, dude, she was shit testing the fuck out you from the jump. Even when he goddamn had his spot, he was saying that the bro was talking about his spot was trash. And then when he went to her spot, she's saying, don't judge me because my shit kind of messy. He was like, damn, this
Yeah,
shit was fucked up.
fucking. I'm curious when the dude, because I ain't even paying attention to the fucking video. He dropped off.
That's part of what I meant when I said that they're at war with us. These crap tests, we tend to look at them as just tests. But we got to be honest. What they're doing is they're really just setting something up where you can't pass. And that's what they do in corporate America. When they just want to get rid of you, they start giving you assignments you can't complete or putting you in places where you're new and you're inexperienced. And then they might set a target goal that nobody can reach, but then they just overlook it for everybody except one person. That's exactly what this broad was doing to your friend. She was setting him up to fail from jump.
It's not even
Damn, you ran him off. As soon as I brought a married motherfucker on, this nigga left like 15 minutes ago.
Because he was in his fifis. But look, that's the thing. Like that wasn't my friend, but it was just a guy I was talking to on the panel. But the thing of it is, when it comes down to it, a lot of broads, the whole thing with the shit test is to test their limits. And a lot of guys fail for the fact of it is they don't know how to tell girls no. They don't know how to goddamn.
They don't know how to walk away.
Exactly. They don't want to fucking lose. That's like the biggest thing with them. I don't understand guys like when a broad might say something funny or say something out the way, you gotta say, man, who the hell you talking to? A lot of guys don't want to go through that whole talk with a woman because, man, I don't want to come off too aggressive. The point
no, because they don't want to fuck. I don't want to fuck up the pussy. The pussy that man. That possibility of sex shit is real. But yeah, man, I just want to say this. That Ryan motherfucker. Yeah, that nigga. Sorry, this echo's fucking with me. That nigga is the nigga that always be saying "fuck you ever, you a bitch, you a hoe." I don't need no voice modulator. That's what that nigga, who that nigga is. And as soon as I heard his voice, I knew exactly. I was like, "Oh, this is the." I'm almost ashamed I even did a whole fucking stream over this shit, but it made sense that he would do something like that. I'll give him credit for coming on and not, man, fuck you. He didn't want to give me satisfaction of proving that's who he was. But the thing about it is, you want to tell me I'm a loser, but you don't. He only got a cam up. You ain't got no avatar. We supposed to assume you got a wife, which like. People kill me, and it's like you listen to the content. If you don't like a channel, don't listen. I've never understood why people can. It's one thing if a channel has a lot of influence, like you dealing with somebody that's like 100,000, or like Kevin. Okay, I get it because you're seeing influence everywhere. But if you're dealing with smaller channels, why is it? You can have your opinion. That's fine. But it's to the point where, yeah, man, you're teaching, you're this, you're that. Nigga, I'm a nigga on YouTube. I tell niggas don't listen to me all the time. I actually recommend other people for y'all to listen to. You know, as far as if you want, hell, even when females come through talking about, you know, some of their bullshit, if I think they coming in good faith, I say, look, you can listen to Love Dorsey. If you're a ratchet, I put them to Love Dorsey because you need somebody that has your experience to tell you ain't shit. If you ain't, Pink Book, I'm like a librarian, you know. So my thing is, if my stuff makes sense for you, it makes sense for you. If there's other people, like, I'm not about to speak about some shit that I don't know. And so I'm going to point you to somebody that does know so you can listen to them. No,
But
very few people do that in this space.
the shit that's so fucked up, a lot of guys who talk about people channels, why you just don't cut that shit off? Why you have to listen to it to talk about it every fuck? You in the chat typing in this motherfucker, you goddamn making videos about other people. Cut this shit off. It's very simple. You encourage, like, if you my biggest hater, you've invested every hour I go live, you over here. Every time you hitting the dislike button, you pushing my analytics up. That's why
Oh man,
you support.
Jessica X's channel is like a textbook example of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, niggas be hate watch. I swear niggas probably be hate donating to her now. They be hate watching, hate donating. They got her name everywhere. And look, I don't have an issue with it. I like Jessica, but they're like, oh, why is she everywhere? I'm like, nigga, it's the same thing with Kevin. Y'all niggas get triggered like these females do. Nigga, like, Kevin Samuels should have his own category in Clubhouse. That's how much these motherfuckers are bitching. Let me come down and come back. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this shit.
I think it's mine because I don't have my headset on.
Let me see.
Yeah,
I think
I don't have my headset.
it's fine. It's fine because I'm in this in a little bit. Y'all deal with the echo. Actually, I want to give it an update because I had a video earlier talking about like some of the black dudes they're more in the entertainment side of YouTube. Man, that dude Long Beach that I did, yo, I'm not even gonna play. So Long Beach Griffey, who's the friend of the Heavenly Controller guy, yo, this dude did like another video, and it's crazy because I know you don't know the situation, but I'm gonna tell y'all not the situation, but make this make sense. So let's say you're a content creator, and you got like north of 3 million subscribers, and you're dealing with another dude. Well, he's not there, but he's like, let's say he has 1 million. So he's kind of in peers as far as percentage of people that have that. Dude basically flies a chick out. Flies it, white chick, black dude, both black, white chick. Flies a chick out. Chick wants to, stupid shit where women want to say they uncomfortable and all that bullshit. And then, get the shit out there. Kind of like what Myron's going through right now. And this is what you do. You defend the dude. And you don't defend him well. You defend him saying, oh, yeah, you got to understand, this guy doesn't understand social cues. So, and you never verbally said no. And we got to hold the victims accountable. That is, quote, what he said as far as to hold the victims accountable. Even video, you got to be, what he meant was, if you didn't say no, you can't be kind of reciprocating a little bit and then telling this fucking story about how you're dying inside. But because he was so popular, you just didn't want, you can't do that because it's still on you to exercise to say, look, I don't really feel comfortable. I like hang out, but she didn't do that. And then you want to go and tell this other fucking story later. Now, granted, that would have been a bad look too, but that would have made more sense. Dude gets flamed. Now, keep in mind, this dude has sponsors. Because they got he got 3 million subs. So this dude has real money at stake right now. He built this channel. He uploads another video. And he wants to explain the first video. And keep in mind, this is the supposed friend of the dude that actually did the shit. So he was there. But he didn't do it. Then the dude says multiple content creators are cutting ties with me, and then he also says I cut ties with the Heavenly, the dude that actually is accused of the shit. And then you go through another 15-20 minutes defending them. Does that make sense to you based on what I told you? That you would take that kind of smoke for somebody you've already decided to cut ties with?
Man, you trying to save face because you fucked up.
That's actually really that's a really good point. Good job. Like, hey, yeah, it's heavenly. It's not Griffey, but Griffey is getting fucked up because Griffey, and then if you like anybody that knows anything about Griffey, he does a lot of controversial shit. Like this dude did like a rap video where he was talking about suicide, and he said, "I wish I was a Jew." Where the gas? Like this dude don't care. Like he really don't care, and it's almost like you're trying to maintain that I need to be controversial because I don't want to back down shit. And it's like, nigga, why? Like you just said you cut ties publicly. So why do you have to maintain this? They don't give it. And this dude is mixed, by the way. He look black though. You would think he black, but he's mixed. It's like, yo, nigga, you need to fall back. And now he stepped in it twice. And you got to see the video. I'm gonna share the video on my community tab. Even if you don't know what's going on, this nigga clearly is a nigga where you like, it's like if you get caught cheating and it's like you trying to save face, but you're not doing it's crazy, yo. But anyway, that's the update. So I may do a congratulations, you played yourself with Long Beach Griffey as well. That might come up. But yeah, it is what it is. And I appreciate your perspective, She, because at the end of the day, even if you got with a woman that had kids, I don't know if you had kids, dudes can do what they want to do. It's up to y'all to make an objective decision. We may say what we say to give you a lot of background stuff that people may not think about, but the reality is we're not up here, ain't nobody gonna say, yeah, man, you got with a woman with kids, so blah, blah, blah. We don't do that here like that. And people will try to accuse us of like shaming motherfuckers that are married, shaming motherfuckers that if you become stepdad, it depends on how much shit you talking. You know what I'm saying? But, we don't be out here looking into people's situation like that. And I just find it funny that this nigga, like, I choose to cam up. I choose to show myself. And it's like, yeah, man, you 5'5", you look like you ain't a non-select male. So if you get, I'm like, nigga, are you serious? Nigga, I deal with these chicks. Go ahead.
It's like he got a job. He don't want nobody to know who he is. The guy who cuts the boxes at the trash compactor, he has to keep himself unidentified. Yeah. I'm like, dude, when it comes down to it, you talk so much shit about this. Like every guy who comes on here and hate, they never show their face because when the proof is in the pudding. My thing is, if you got that much hate or animosity towards me, you need to come on, say it with your chest. I don't want all this fucking avatars. I don't want these damn long ass messages in the chat and all this, and sending emails and all this other stuff. Dude, just be upfront, because at the end of the day, the point of it is, most of the guys on here, we're trying to contribute to let guys don't get fucked up like we got fucked up. The younger generation, they're the ones coming behind us. We already know that a lot of men are not being raised by men. They're being raised by women. That's why I told you, when everybody's talking about that single mom shit, I'm like, dude, there's dudes that's fucking up these young guys too, because, for instance, if your mom taught you some bullshit, you grow up, you never around men, you get a wife, she fucking pimps the fuck all over you. You have a son, your son see this shit day in and day out. He said, oh, I think that's how men are supposed to be. Men are supposed to be bitches to their wives and let their wives rule over them, talk shit, and that's how it goes.
And they start looking for women that would match that too. That's the crazy part about it. And here's another thing too. By the way, Israeli women can be worse than black women in many ways. Don't let that fool you. I've been told by Israeli men that y'all don't know shit about, like, not that they're like that overall, but anyway. But
I saw a special on that. They have a rash of they have the same problem with false accusations in Israel and Spain that you have in the States.
Okay, so I'm glad, because you could probably speak to that better than I could. But I've been told that by Israeli dudes, and Israelis are interesting. They're an interesting group. I ain't talking about Jewish people, because you got to realize that's kind of different when you deal with Israel. Like they are they not all like Gal Gadot. Don't think Gal Gadot is the template. Do not think that. And even then, she might be putting up an image too. I just want to throw that out there in the chat. But going back to what she said, the thing about it is, even if you have sexual access, like BGS talks about like some of his nephews and, you know, basically dudes that are younger, they're way younger than him. That are, you know, dudes that, you know, he would have been like 40 when they were fucking born and shit, right? And we were just talking about how those dudes get, if they get sexual access, you know, because maybe you come from a family that's tall and all that, so you're going to have the beauty markers. That has its own set of landmines that could completely fuck you up. Because if women want you, a lot of these women will get desperate and say, if I have a baby by, like, they get in their head, if they have a baby by him, because that's what they fucking mama only thing taught them, that nigga go do what I'm gonna do. Now you hemmed up, because then if you don't capitulate and they got a baby, now they gonna fuck you up as far as child support, depending on what state you live in. Then you got one, two, not to mention the other avenue of if you getting too much pussy, too much pussy will actually fuck up your motivation. Like, real talk. Like, and a lot of dudes don't talk about that. And so all these niggas that always want to critique us, I'm like, well, shit, if you get so much pussy, why don't you speak with the pitfalls with that? Because y'all acting like, well, if you get enough all this pussy, then that's all it is. No, it's not. That actually can fuck up a lot of black men. I would argue that a lot of our best black men, our quote unquote alphas, have had that alpha fire poured out of them because of too much pussy. Like, for real. Like, and even when, I mean, shit, look at Polite. So, and even though I wouldn't count him as alpha, I'm just saying, too much pussy will fuck, especially if you're young, like if you're like in like 16, 17, 18, why do you think a lot of the dudes that are the most popular in school with black folks don't always turn out to be worth a damn after the fact? Like, it's always like the top 3 or 4 niggas that it turns out 10 years later after they get out of school, they don't necessarily amount to anything. Like, do you see that? It's because them niggas were like the most select, so a lot of that shit got poured out of them. And BGS talks about that. But see, with these niggas that always want to criticize us, you never hear that, because to them, sexual access means you controlling a bitch, which is how I know a lot of these guys are full of shit. Go ahead. Booty eater sphere. Yeah, man, y'all talking about eating, like, nigga, that nigga's an idiot. That nigga's an idiot. He said for months. Nigga, that deserves to be in the Simping Hall of. That's a nomination for the Simping Hall of Fame. Yeah, it does happen to athletes. I'm sure Dynas could talk about that a lot. As far as, so my point is, you know, yeah, I don't know what's going on with these people. They I don't know what's up, so I'm gonna just drop them off. But my point, I appreciate y'all coming up. But my point is, that ain't my lane to speak on. You know, I'm just gonna say it like that. But there are dudes that get, hell, how many of these niggas have said that they're 6'2", 240, and they're like 21, 22, and bitches are swinging on them? I ain't never had no bitch straight up swing at me like that. I never gave them an opportunity, because if I see that craziness, I'm out. But again, there are other things that could be covered, and I'm sure there's people that cover it. But and here's another thing: Grown Man Business is a channel that critiques the manosphere, but at the same time, Grown Man Business has his stuff out there. So again, there's people for people to watch, but people want to sit there like, nigga, I don't have to justify to anybody. I have a right to get on this bitch and talk. I don't give a fuck if I'm fat. There's motherfuckers on this bitch that's like north of 200 and something pounds. Like, y'all can kiss my ass with that bullshit. And it's all, well, you know, you don't get women, you don't get this. Nigga, just because you fucking, nigga, let's be clear here. A lot of black men that get fucked up the most in the black community are the niggas that are fucking. The niggas that are fucking other, like, the fucking other bitches, other dudes' bitches and shit. Let's stop playing this game like if you getting pussy. That's how I knew he was full of shit. And you notice, and I'm going to end the video with this. You notice I asked him a very simple question. I asked him, what have I ever said? Because I've always told you all that everything that I say passes a multitude of tests. The common sense test and the logic test. What have I ever stated that if you getting pussy no longer matters? And he absolutely refused to answer that question. That nigga want to be like, you lose. Yes, grown man business does have a wife, and the fact that you don't even know that when he talks about it all the time just goes to show you another one, Rami, that likes to talk a lot of shit in the manosphere, but don't know what the hell you talking about. This better serve as an example to you as well, because this could be you too. What Ryan's going through, looking goofy. Like, I don't know where these motherfuckers are coming in this space all the time, and it's like y'all want to be these contrarian ass Negroes. No, I'm not gonna bring Rami up because I ain't got time. I ain't got time to deal with his bullshit. Because the only thing Rami gonna do, Rami has a hard on for Jessica X. So all he's gonna do is sit there and be like, "You niggas, the fact that Jessica X can be in this space means you niggas are lame." As if Jessica X doesn't have the right to create her own YouTube channel. This nigga is secretly jacking off to Jessica X's avatar. That's probably why he always got something to say about nigga going to random ass panels talking about Jessica X. I bet you his ass, every time she changed the avatar, he screenshots this shit. You would think, and see, what kills me is black men didn't even promote Jessica X like that. Jessica X mainly got promoted because a lot of niggas were talking shit about her, and then it got her name out there, and then motherfucker said, I want to see what this bitch is talking about. Not calling her a bitch, but this is how niggas was thinking. And then they said, oh, well, you know, because if Jessica X would have said something stupid, do you understand how many people are actually watching? People are waiting for Jessica X to slip up. Just like how motherfuckers are waiting for Fresh and Fit to slip up, and you see how them motherfuckers got pounced on. It doesn't matter if she showed herself or not. Like, I really don't get why you all are so obsessed with what the fuck she looks like. Like, nigga, a lot of that is stalker energy. Like, for real. Nigga, has she showed herself? 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 Oh my God. Has she showed herself? I mean, goddamn. I remember people used to say that same shit about Jason Black. Has she showed herself? Has she showed herself? Black people give a fuck. Like, nigga, you don't have to watch. Like, the fact that there's somebody out there, like Pink Book has never showed herself either. Clearly you do, Rami. If you're going to other random ass channels talking about nigga Jessica X don't show herself, you niggas are simps, you're donating to an avatar. Okay, I think niggas that don't, they give money up for I think niggas that go to the strip club and blow their whole checks on the strip club are simps. Nigga, you're going, like, literally the strip only. Mainly in the United States, can you not actually buy the bitch? But you'll sit there and give the same money up at a strip club, and you can barely touch the bitch in American strip clubs, versus you can actually buy the bitch in other countries. So I think you simping when you do that. But niggas make songs about it. So the reality is, you sit here and you want to talk to other niggas about some female. Hey, I asked you to give another example. I'm going to ask you just like I asked Ryan. Have you come up with another example yet? Because you've had about 8 hours to do so. Do you have another example? Or is Jessica X your only example? Is that your only example? And first of all, let's be clear here. Chrissy has gotten plenty of donations from people, and they ain't never seen her. So Jessica is not the first person that they've never seen. Jason Black has raised $250,000, and nobody ain't ever seen what he looks like. Do you have another example, or are you still going to lean on Jessica X's obsession? Rami is Jessica X's biggest fan. This nigga literally has a rat for avatar. Nigga, let's see what the fuck you look like. Because I've cammed up. Why don't you cam up? Why don't you cam up? See, you want to tell somebody else to cam up. Why don't you cam up? The Fresh and Fit is not in the Black Manosphere. Fresh and Fit is an adjacent space. Fresh and Fit is not Black Manosphere. So again, nigga, you don't know what you're talking about. Fresh and Fit is not Black Manosphere. It took you 8 hours to come up with Fresh and Fit. It looks like a rat to me. Maybe if you cam up, we won't have this problem. He's here, Hotep Rail, because a lot of these niggas, the only way they know how to feel better about themselves is by saying what other niggas are lame. These are some of the most bitch ass niggas, because these are the niggas that need the internet the most, because truth is that niggas like this will get their ass whooped, because as soon as they start talking shit, they say some funny ass shit like this in real life, they would get smacked. So you can't do the shit that he does in real life, because you always will be getting in fights with people. So they come on the internet to tell somebody about themselves. Niggas either gonna get the fuck away from you or they gonna smack the shit out you. And so this actually tampers down dudes from saying this. This is why a lot of dudes offline do a lot of hoe shit, because you got a lot of niggas that have these feelings. Rami is the type of nigga that he might have a friend of a dude that's doing some shit, but he be that frenemy that's always waiting in the scenes to fuck that nigga up in the right opportunity. That nigga is like the Red Hood with a jealousy complex. Dude, it's 6:14 in the morning, man. I did this because Ryan left a comment. And honestly, your comments, I had already been in the position where I was removing them. And then these niggas always like to come on my shit. Like I'm like, cause here's the thing. I'm the nigga. Nigga, I'm not fighting you. Nigga, who the fuck are you? Stop being I'm challenging you to a Fresh and Fit fight. See, first of all, the truth is Fresh challenge, I guess, preach to a fight and preach accepted. That's not the same. I'm not challenging you to shit. You're not the first to do that. Nigga wanna challenge somebody to a fight, but won't cam the fuck up. Nigga, who the fuck are you? You got $20,000? Because that was you got $20,000? Because that's what they were talking about. They were talking about money, not no fight. Nigga, you're acting. I don't need to call you weak. You're acting weak. Any dude that's obsessed over what another nigga is doing with his money is weak. That's some weak shit. Ain't nobody. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. I love how this nigga is going to challenge me to a Fresh and Fit fight. He's going to ignore the fact that Albert and Preach said that he would put up $20,000. And this nigga don't even put no money up. What this nigga does, this is basically say I'm scared because your ass is broke. Them niggas won't gonna just fight. I'm 5'5", Black Mind, but that's okay. Yeah, I know, Deacon Dave. I'm gonna tell you, the most bitch-made gynocratic niggas are the niggas that when they don't have logic, they just default to niggerdom and they just start challenging niggas to fight. David Carroll talks about dudes like this. Like, nigga, you think, nigga, I'm supposed to, nigga, in a patriarchy, you can't just fight. See, that's some gynocratic shit. That's that fucking, like, what they call it in slavery, those Negro slave fights, where a nigga is emotionally upset, so he thinks he could just challenge somebody to a fight. Let me tell you, I think most of y'all niggas that do that are really bitch made, to be honest. Because, nigga, if you all are not smart, because if you were intelligent, you wouldn't need to do that. Nigga, so let's get this straight. So because a fucking random ass troll, I don't give a fuck if he's got videos that hasn't shown his face. Because keep in mind, I brought Rami up on my shit. But see, this is what bitch ass niggas do. What they do is they get up around you, and as soon as they get comfortable, then the bitch in them comes out, just like these females do. And they start turning. The Honest Truth did that same faggoty shit. And I'm gonna say it just like that. And for you, it took like what, a week turnaround for you to do that. So I'm supposed to sit here and I'm supposed to say, okay, you challenge me to a fight. And I'm supposed to do what? Fly to your shit? You fly to my shit? I spend money to meet you, to fight, for no money? To prove what? Nigga, I can block your ass. You ain't nobody. You're not even a content creator. You're not an enemy. For you to be an enemy, I have to recognize you're on my level. You are like one of them fucking gnats that you step on that you can't fucking get rid of. Nigga out here, like, nigga, you coming to my shit. You on my chat, coming to my shit at what, 6? You came up here at what, like 6 o'clock in the morning for what? To tell me about your issues with the black manosphere? Nigga, that's some incel shit. And then I'm gonna tell you, you got a fucking incel. Like, nigga, any nigga that's showing up with, I don't give a fuck if it's a squirrel, it looks like a rat to me. That's an incel avatar. You're talking about we're lame, but nigga, you got an incel level avatar. Nigga, you got a rat for an avatar calling another nigga lame. Okay, we're lame. We're lame. So why the fuck are you listening? Nigga, what does that say about you that you're in a space where you're saying niggas are lame, but you're in a space? That's telling me that you have nothing else better to do, which makes you actually beneath us. No, it's not the same, black man. Because, nigga, you are around here all the time. Nigga, you lame. Nigga, you lame. Nigga, you lame. Like, these niggas that sit here and they'll be like, you're like, they only feel better about themselves saying what another nigga is. And I know you ain't got no real life because you over here all the time. You ain't no content creator. You just over here trolling. That's why I remove half his comments. Nigga, I'm not getting emotional. Shut up. In fact, let's do this. I'm actually glad, you decided to, I'm actually glad you decided to, show up, because I'm getting tired of removing your comments, because you come up with the most bitch made comments. So I decided to block you. Congratulations, because you're an annoyance. It's one thing to disagree with me, but nigga, you lame, you lame, you lame, you lame, you lame, you lame. You fucking bitch made niggas. You niggas are losers. Nigga, you want attention so fucking bad. You want somebody, and that's why I'm giving you the attention you want. I've already talked to you on Palmer shit. You didn't have nothing to say over there. You ain't got shit to say. You shutting down the conversation. So I just want attention. Fight me. Notice me. You're lame. You're emotional. Nigga, I'm emotional, but you still here. Nigga, you didn't leave. I actually had to remove you. Nigga, you're a stalker. It is 6 o'clock in 6:30 in the fucking morning. Even if you're on the West Coast, it's 3:30. The fuck you doing up trolling? And these dudes it never occurs. See, when they're in a mode like that, that shit never occurs to them. That shit never occurs to these motherfuckers that how this shit looks. Oh, you said Rami is in Africa? Like, for real. Like this nigga, like nigga, y'all know, think about it. Y'all have, some of y'all just been sub to me for a long time. Yes, I'll say people are lame. Usually I'll say what people are doing is lame. I don't like to call people lame. I'll say this, and this is lame. But you don't sit there and see me going on other people's channels. Or who do you know that goes up there and they just keep on wanting to talk about somebody's lame? Hell, I used to jump because Ty City never said they were lame. But I would jump on Ty City about that. Like, it's one thing to critique certain things, but when niggas start like getting to the point where they just want to troll just to be trolling, like that's some loser ass shit. For all we know, that nigga might got a sexual assault charge if that nigga ain't never in the United States. Exactly, Flip Cool. You are exactly right. I'm about to be 35 years old, and I'm fighting a nigga over some fucking comments. That's some hoe shit. You want to talk shit? What I should have did was got his ass on Charles Faulkner shit and be like, you want to talk about how somebody lame? Why don't you go over there and talk about how they lame? Anyway. So this is what bitch made niggas do. What bitch made niggas do is when you block them, they come back and then they get another, like, I don't have technically I do, but y'all don't see me doing that. They come back. I'm glad you did that so I could block the next one. Cause I'm getting tired of you. Nigga, it ain't that serious. I'm just trolling. Oh no, I blocked them. I blocked them on that one too. Yeah, nigga, it ain't that serious. I'm just trolling you. Nigga, I'm a serious person. I don't deal with trolls. Nigga, my channel is a serious channel. If you have legitimate disagreements, feel free to have them. But when you start playing that bitch made that I'ma live and play, like, I already told you that. I'm not playing with y'all. Well, Flip Cool, the point is I'm not fighting, like, nigga, I'm not fighting over no internet shit. I'm just not. Nigga, I'm just trolling you. I'm just doing this. I'm just saying they're lame. Like, you ain't got nothing. You're trolling because you ain't got nothing really to say. Yeah, I appreciate that, Kaya. And like I said, Anybody will tell you, even with the females will too. I let them be heard unless they just start absolutely, and even if they do start talking stupid, I just want to get their clarity on what they're saying. Even when that chick said, I don't believe in the wall, I was like, okay, I want to make sure you said that. Okay, why? Now we understand she capping, but there's a lot of women that don't believe in the wall. They don't want to mentally face that because to them, the wall is like death. But my point is, you can disagree with me. That's not the issue. The issue is when you fucking playing. So I guess we're going to play the I'm emotional like a female card. I mean, come on, keep talking shit so I can get rid of y'all. I'm not getting, nigga, I'm passionate. I'm not getting emotional. And for those of y'all that don't know what the difference is, when you get emotional, that means you lose your ability to think. Because the emotional side, the subjective side, is taking over. Y'all know good and goddamn well that I don't lose my ability to think. That's the difference between passion and emotion. I know some of you niggas don't know the difference, but that's the difference. So you niggas talk about I'm being emotional like a female. That nigga wouldn't go, no, nigga, I have a zero tolerance for y'all trolling, especially black men. Y'all know my channel ain't a channel for that bullshit. Y'all see me block these white folks all the time to do stupid shit. So just because I'm not playing with y'all stupid asses don't mean shit. I'm not always looking in my chat like that. So I let the mods handle it. Nigga, you being emotional like a female. No, you niggas are trolling like loser ass bitches. I've cammed up, so y'all know what the fuck I look like. What about y'all? Y'all think this is a game. It ain't no game. I'm being emotional. No, I'm blocking y'all because I don't need to deal with it. I prefer not to use the hard R word. If you hear me do it, it's to make a point. Even when I was getting annoyed with Ulysses the other day, the main reason I was getting louder is because he was acting like he didn't understand social cues. So I turned up the volume on him. Because he basically wanted to ignore what I was communicating and just be like, I don't understand. Well, I'm like, okay, well, you're going to understand this. Because y'all know good and goddamn well I don't get loud like that. And then when I was on Melody shit, she was being, Sexy Red was being disingenuous as hell. Yeah, I've looked at his shit. Don't make me go through his channel because I've looked at his channel. Know what the fuck this nigga talking about? I pulled this channel up. Nigga is trash. And he came on my shit doing some bullshit ass promotion. And when I told him to stop doing that fucking spam shit on my shit, now he want to talk shit, talk about the manosphere's lane. Let me be very clear here. Rami is one of them niggas that Rami got rejected by our space. And now he's one of these niggas that hate our space because he got rejected by our space. And that's what a lot of these dudes that you get. These niggas start hating our space because of whatever reason. And then niggas want to say I'm being emotional. Nigga, shut up. The issue with Fresh and Fit is Fresh started it. Well, I get Albert started it, but Fresh started it, taking it to a level that they took it to, and Fresh is the one that brought up the fighting bullshit. And you don't talk about fighting unless you're serious. Because see, the problem is niggas like to throw that fighting bullshit out because they like, oh, but this nigga scared. No, nigga. Now, if you sit there and accept it, and then you turn around and then somebody backs out, you back out, that's different. But nigga, nobody has to accept you offering to fight. That's all that is. All right, y'all. I'm ending this video. I appreciate it. This is Edward, signing off. Peace.